Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Distant Sirens. Probably gonna try to not be super loud with this. Um, just gonna be courteous. Actually, I'm gonna text my girlfriend, tell her to turn the TV on. Um, but I was thinking about something. Oh God, yesterday, and I don't know. I've been thinking about it the last couple days. I'm sure. I mean, okay, so this is just what it is. So I watched a monkey or an ape. It's a very large monkey or a small ape. It could be a young ape. Anyways, um, so I watched what I, I had to like go into the comments and like figure out exactly what they were doing. But from what I can, gather from that, it was this monkey took like a really big, like, he smoked a lot of very strong, like, hash. And, to, sorry, so he smoked, like, this monkey smoked a lot of hash. And then, so, like, the rest of the video shows him, like, kind of like, the next scene, he is, and it's like a small ape or a monkey that's wearing clothes too. So he's like cool. He's like down to clown. Like this monkey is like a people monkey. Although I don't necessarily agree with owning primates. Like primates owning other primates is just fucked. Um, but the so the monkey or the ape whatever goes off and starts eating like this little like banana thing or whatever. And then the next video is like him. He's like sleeping on like one of the guests in the house. Perhaps it's like his owner or something. He's like just like completely knocked out, and the guy's like bumping like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And like monkey wakes up his eyes and like pushes like a cigar away from his face or whatever. Um, but I don't know. I asked my friend about this, and she said it was animal abuse. And I was like, okay, I didn't even really think about it that way. And then I showed it to my girlfriend, and then she said the same thing, animal abuse. And I mean, I can see where they're coming from. My girlfriend made like a good point where she was like, the that little ape watched everyone and what they were doing, and then obviously would want to try, but and then like the monkey doesn't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I mean, to be real, I don't think anyone in the room knew what the fuck was gonna happen after they gave that monkey a fucking like a dabber. It was smoking hash. Um, but I don't know. When I first watched the video, I just was laughing because it was very amusing. Like this monkey got fucking high as shit, and then like was filmed eating and then fell asleep. I mean, those are just like the two like I guess stereotypical aspects of like I don't know, like weed, like it makes you tired and hungry. Like even like completely out of touch parents will say that. Um but then I don't know. I was watching because it was hilarious and I was like, well, this is great. Like just watching this fucking animal get absolutely fucking fried. But and then I started thinking about it in the other way, and I'm not sure if anyone has heard about this like I guess theory or like this hold on. Ooh, the wine is like a little sparkly. Um I the stoned ape theory, which is like I guess a way of trying to make sense of evolution and like I guess kind of sort of like how we got here as like people in a sense. And there's one theory proposed by here. I'll just Google it real quick, so I'm not just completely talking out of my ass. Stoned ape theory. Okay, Terrence McKenna posited that psilocybin caused the primitive brain's information processing capabilities to rapidly reorganize, which in turn kickstarted the rapid evolution of cognition that led to the early art, language, and technology written in Homo sapiens archaeological record. So, basically, what it means is that these apes found psychedelic mushrooms growing obviously just like out in the wild, and they were picking them and they were eating them, purposely consuming them because of or maybe inadvertently consuming them, whatever. But they said that the results of eating all of these psychedelic mushrooms in like this community of apes, it could be responsible, like I just said, for like reorganizing some of the brain's structure, especially in like a very basic and primitive, being, which led to rapid cognitive development. I guess I'm just like regurgitating what I read. So then I started thinking about that, and like, well, it's not like it didn't really go wrong the first time that all these apes were getting high in history, I mean, like they turned themselves into people. They ate so many mushrooms, they turned themselves into people. You know what I'm saying? So like that's fucking pretty impressive. And then I was kind of like trying to apply that to like the monkey who was smoking all this hash or whatever, or taking a dab. I don't think it was a dab, because like it looked like it was definitely not fucking filmed in America, where I know like dabs are, common. But and it did look like more of like a fucking house that's built close to sand, kind of vibe. So, and they had a fucking ape or monkey, so I don't know. But I started like kind of equating that to this monkey or this ape that I saw take like this giant hit of hash and just get absolutely fucked. And I started thinking, well, yes, the individual monkey or ape that was given that hash may or may not have had a great time, or may not have had a terrible time. But the thing is that you gave him an experience that like those animals would never be able to recreate. I think that's the craziest sentence ever, to be like, oh my god, check out this fucking camera roll. I went into the fucking jungle and I saw these gorillas making hash. Like that's just like definitely not something they would ever probably even fucking think to do. You have to become a person by eating like a bunch of mushrooms, like how we did it the first time. But you give him that like that mind altering experience, and like you give him a gift and an ability to learn from what happened. Maybe like I don't even know, like maybe it would jumpstart some like shit in his head where it's like, oh my god, like he's thinking, he's like, holy shit, my lungs are on fire. I'm, like my fucking, oh my god, imagine if you gave a monkey a big enough dab and it made him conscious. Oh my god, that would be fucking crazy. Maybe that's what happened to this monkey. And he was like, what's his little voice in my head? Like, why is he saying everything that I'm thinking, And he's like, holy shit, I'm actually having, like, I'm realizing that I'm thinking and this is what's happening. Like, maybe that happened. Like, who the fuck knows? But we would never know if that didn't happen. So, I mean, technically, is it animal abuse? Yeah, but isn't like the study on Pavlov's dogs, wouldn't that be considered animal abuse as well? But there's a lot of scientific information and like a lot of positive that came from that because of those experiments done. And obviously, like, yes, the individual, like the dogs that were used in this experiment were not, the most thrilled to be in that situation. But however, everybody has benefited from this knowledge. So I guess I'm thinking like in like the grand scheme of things, like you may have to go through a terrible experience, but with that like with that experience under your belt, you should go out and you should like use that information you learned for the good. You know what I'm saying? So, and like for like progression, trying to make progress for like your community, or like if you're like the ape or whatever, and you like get around other apes, you're like, dude, we like need to get our hands on some fucking weed, and you will see what I'm talking about, you know? Or just like maybe like they should find mushrooms and start tripping, and like that'd be a cool experiment to do. Just like give like 3 generations, get like capture like 4 gorillas, right? And just feed them mushrooms like once a fucking week, or like once a month, or like twice a month. And then do that for like their lifetime. Let them have kids. Feed the mushrooms to the kids once they've like hit a certain. No, you know what? No, you wanna fucking probably dose those babies up to like, cause that brain is like, it's like clay, and you're just throwing mushrooms down that little gorilla's throat to be like, dude, look, I want to hear you talk. Like, and maybe after like 6 or 7 generations of gorillas, like they'll like be born with like different vocal cord structures, so they can actually like speak English. That's like one of the things that like people are like, well, once they get smart enough, they'll just be able to talk to us. No, they can't. They're biologically incapable of speaking English. They can't communicate like how we can, because like the muscles in their mouth and the way their, you know, diaphragm is, you know, structured, it doesn't support like long-winded sentences like this. Like they're good at like big bursts of noise, like bah, you know, like screaming and shit, or like hoo, 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 hoo. But at the same time, like they're doing that and they're like breathing in while they do it. Like they do like cyclic breathing. So I don't even know really what the fuck I'm talking about now, but I'm just thinking like, I don't know. I don't really see letting that ape smoke hash is really like animal abuse, because like that may have been how we got here. And also like there's no way of telling, unless he had like an adverse reaction and like was being antisocial, was trying to lay down, he was like throwing up, then obviously it was too much. But that dude was just like, he was like, I need to get like a fucking kiwi or a banana in me. Then he went back to go hang out with his boys. I mean, like that just seems like totally like what a person would do. You know, if he got like a little too fucked up, he'd be like, I'm gonna go drink some water, gonna go eat a banana, and I'll catch you guys in like 20. You know. So I don't know, but I'm not gonna feel bad for thinking that it's not animal abuse. I mean, I didn't do it, for Christ's sakes. I didn't fucking do that to the. I don't even know the ape. You know, I've never even met him before, not even one time in my life. So I don't know him, you know? So, and I definitely didn't give that to him. But I don't know, it's more interesting than anything, you know, like kind of doing experience like that. I guess I never really thought about perhaps like opening up other primates' you know, mind to like psychedelic experiences and just seeing like what the effects are. And I mean, like, this is also my thing too. It's like there's really no right or wrong when you're making a decision, like the morality. It's like whether you're like, I'm gonna patent this, like let's say you find like a cure for something, you know, like fibromyalgia. I just read an article the other day that's like 10 million people get diagnosed. I don't even know what the fuck it was something like that. It was like a kind of common disease, and there's just absolutely like no reason why people, like, science knows like so little about fibromyalgia, and I guess it just basically like makes your bones like grow like needles and shit off of them, which sounds fucking terrible. But they've also found skeletons dating back to like, I don't know, when like people were fucking spitting Latin, you know? So like they basically called it like the hurt bone disease or something. Like brittle bone disease, something like that. I mean, if you just Google fibromyalgia, you know, history, it's very short, and it's very interesting how we don't know anything about that. I don't know why the fuck I brought up fibromyalgia. I have no idea. I wish I could pause this, go back, listen to my dumbass talk, and then carry on. I don't know. I just don't really, I guess I don't really see it as abuse more than just like an experience to have, you know? And I mean, if we're just equating it to like people's lives, like there's so many people, even in like my generation, who set off and they're like, guys, I'm actually like, I'm not gonna be doing this with you guys next summer because I'm gonna go on an adventure. And all of her dumbass friends are like, oh my god, where are you like, what? And she's like, I'm just gonna pack my bags and buy the cheapest ticket out of America and see what happens. Like, it's just like people have like ridiculous dumbass, like, basically like, if a psychiatric doctor heard you say that, they would be like, you need to come in for a check. And like, straight up, like, who the fuck thinks like you? Like no one is like, that's just not healthy either. Like, just making fucking decisions like that just for an adventure. Like, I believe perception of life is twisted because they were, you know, raised heavily on like TV and watching like shit happen on TV. And it's like, oh my god, it's like once a week all these grandiose things are supposed to happen. And like, people are like depressed because they're like, my life is meaningless because I don't have any of that. And it's like, it was an unreasonable expectation for you to believe that you would find even one adventure in your lifetime, you know? Like, also, you're boring as shit. Like, yeah, you may be funny or whatever, but like, you are dense as a rock. And why do you think you're obligated to have this part of your life just because you watched other people do it? Like, do you know how much more qualified they were you to do anything the fuck you're talking about? Like, my ex-girlfriend, she was like, I just want to like not shave. I just want to color my hair and move to like Tokyo. I'm like, you're fucked in the head. Like, that is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. Like, you just want to like fucking move to a country. First, you don't speak, stupid dumb white bitch. She doesn't speak fucking a lick of Japanese. She's just like, I just want to do it for the experience. Like, how many people can say they did that? And so what I find people do to like almost like, it's like virtue signaling in the opposite direction. It's like, look at me, look how cool I am. And they go out and do the most obscure fucking shit just because it sounds cool. They'll be like, oh yeah, I paddleboarded to the Dominican Republic to help earthquake victims. No earthquake has happened yet, but it's just preemptive, you know? It's like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, why is that? Like, I don't think that's like interesting at all. Like, I think that's like fucking weird again, like a mental illness. It's like, you're really just out here doing all this weird ass like iCarly shit. Like, if anyone knows iCarly, that show was just so like, that show exploited people's perception of what like being random is, and it's just like the most asinine shit. Like, someone would just walk in while they're having a conversation about like how to produce a fucking web show at 8.5 years old, and then someone's like, did someone say they needed a lemon? And it's just like, I feel like just from that point on, it's just like made people think it's like, the more obscure the better, the more different you can be from other people the better. And what I find is those same people who believe that suffer in almost every category in their life, but hold on to this idea where it's like, no, it's better to be unique and it's better to be different than anything else. Like, okay, like if you truly believe that, like if you truly believe that you need to be so far fucking removed from what other people do or think or say or how they act, like that is probably a diagnosable problem. Or you're like borderline antisocial to the point where you don't like people. And I say all the time, I hate people and people piss me off. That's true, but it's only the people who do dumb ass shit or just dumb ass people in general. Like, yeah, like I feel confident in saying like the majority of people I know are fucking retards and I can't stand them. But also like, I don't hate people. Like, I would never want to move to like a log cabin and like, I don't even know. Those people categorically fail in life in almost every way just for the off chance that they go out in some sort of social event. And people are like, oh, what are you into? Like, what have you been up to? What did you do last summer? And they're like, oh, yeah, I helped a village of Guatemalan gypsy midgets. And I trained them to play in their national basketball league. And they're actually like 1-13, you know? And it's like, you just want as many different adjectives behind your activity, like, and like bring in the most disenfranchised group fucking make them do the most obscure shit and then act like you're helping them. Like, that's, I feel like what people, at least who are my age and my generation, like, that's like half part of like their identity and like what they're trying to do. And it just makes no fucking sense to me. Like, those people really piss me off, especially my ex. I mean, for obvious reasons, she pissed me off. One of them that, you know, we're no longer together for, I mean, that's probably one of the best decisions I made. Well, no, one of the best decisions I made was getting with my current girlfriend. But I don't even know. Those people are fucked. I don't even honestly remember where this conversation even started. I don't even know what oh yeah, I was talking about animals and like giving them drugs. Yeah, but those people are just, I don't know. They put themselves up against a wall and they make it seem like everything is like made to be difficult for them, which is so fucking annoying. It's like, no, the world isn't set up to be difficult for you. You are setting yourself up to make everything difficult for yourself. Like, I don't understand. Like, I legitimately knew someone who like destroyed their social security card, like burned up a bunch of important documents because they're like, I'm going off the grid. And now that dude like fucked himself for like 3.5 years because as soon as he needed to apply for a job, they asked for like fucking all that information and his dumbass just fucking destroyed it. And yeah, he just like had to go to so many like goddamn people and be like, how do I get my information back? And they're like, how'd you lose it? And he tells them, and they're like, that's how I was going to stay off the grid. First, they think you're fucking retarded because you carry around a tracking device in your pocket 24 goddamn 7. So it's not even like you can really drop off the grid unless you don't have your fucking phone with you. Which, again, who the fuck my age is just going to do that? Probably those weird ass people who it's like, I called you like the last 4 months. You didn't return any of my texts or calls. What's up? And it's like, oh yeah, I was just, I was in the Sahara Desert and I was planting pine trees because, like Egyptian kids like Christmas, and like Santa and bullshit, right? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I sincerely doubt that those people are finding enjoyment in what they're doing. All they find enjoyment is in the obscurity of their activity. It's usually some sort of volunteering, helping some like fucked up disenfranchised. It's like, I don't know. You heard me wrong. I don't donate or I don't volunteer or with a Hindi organization. I volunteer with a Hindi organization for the deaf and blind. So I only work with little Hindi kids who are deaf and blind. Like, it's the most obscure nonsense bullshit just to make themselves seem like some pinnacle saint, because it's like, well, you've never one time in your life thought about doing this for someone. It's like, I didn't even know that goddamn person existed. Like, and that's not on me for not being aware. That's the fault of society for kind of shushing their problem or for never speaking about the problem in the first place. And honestly, it's probably some fault probably lies in the people who do know about these issues that are, very strange and, borderline outlandish, and they just say nothing. Like, I don't know, like, if you know someone needs help and no one fucking knows it exists, like, fucking you be the person to be like, hey, I'm writing this blog post about, like, these, like, gypsies in my country, or, like, these little pygmy people, like, they're picked on and they're, like, second-class citizens, and they put all, like, the food with vitamins on higher shelves, so little people just are, like, fat and unhealthy, And it's like, okay, like, if that's happening, like, yeah, put that shit on, like, Instagram and Twitter and fucking Facebook and Reddit and shit. But if it's, like, some weird shit where it's like, yeah, I only, I'm working with an organization with children who only grow hair everywhere besides their head, It's, like, almost sounds like they're just making up diseases and shit just to make themselves seem, like, better than you. When in reality, I really don't think they're better than me, because I enjoy most of the day, besides work, I enjoy most of the day because I've set up my life to be, like, in a position where it's like, yeah, no, I have everything that I want. It's enjoyable. Like, it's great. I live with a person that I love. But these fucking idiots, they're like, they think, well, that's just too easy for me. I can't have something so easy like that. And, like, just something that would actually make me happy. So then they go off, for the love of fuck, oh my god, the fucking van people, the people who are like, I'm going to convert this old camper, I'm going to gut it, I'm just going to gut it, I'm going to rip out the cabinets, I'm going to gut it. If I heard And for every time I heard I'm gonna gut it in reference to a fucking vehicle that's larger than a fucking SUV, I would not have to fucking work. I've heard so much stupid bullshit about these goddamn lunatics who want to fucking renovate a school bus and then live in it. Like they build beds and like a shower and a kitchen. Like you have to be out of your fucking mind to want to do something like that. To not have a place where you can just be like, well, shit's getting crazy and I don't really want to have to fucking drive my entire house around. Park in the fucking Walmart parking lot or drive it off into a fucking like into some grass. That's what I hear people keep doing. And I actually have a family who I was a family that I worked with, and I know once the pandemic hit, the mom she was able to work from home, and the dad was like a freelance writer or something. So they just like put their kids on a fucking bus and they're like driving around the country now. And I can't think of anything more irresponsible as parents than to do something like that. I honestly, I don't get it. Those people are mentally ill. They legitimately take on projects that you have to be a craftsman in so many different like fields, like wiring and electricity and plumbing, wood cutting, installations. You have to be good at like a bunch. It's like you either need a team with an expert in every field, or it's like if one person knows how to do everything pretty well, then it's like building a bus to live out of is like a weekend project for them, because it's like it takes very fucking time consuming, a lot of materials too. And I mean, just honestly, at the end of the fucking day, it's a fucking terrible. There's a reason why campers got big for a little bit and then they died off, because people realized this is fucked. I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Like, I don't want to have to fucking empty my shit and piss every 4 days because I live on a fucking vehicle. Like, that is beyond fucked. And besides, it's not even really natural. People are always like they make the argument online where it's like, I mean, like, can you just pick up from anywhere you live and just drive and like just go to like this state because this is happening? And it's like, I don't give a motherfuck if that was happening 10 minutes away from my house. I wouldn't go. I would not go. I would not even slow down to look at it. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you people think going out and looking at fucking trees or big holes in the ground that go on for a long time is fucking cool. You're fucked in the head too. Like, those people who just like absolutely like just like watch documentaries about nature and they just cry and they come on themselves because nature makes them so fucking horny or something. Like, those people are fucking sick, and they're like, I just think it's so wrong that people have lived in, like they built concrete jungles for them to live in. What's wrong with the real jungle? Bitch, I will drop you off in the fucking jungle. Oh my God, if I had the fucking money, I would take each one of those fucking people, put them in the fucking like Sahara Desert or the fucking like in the rainforest, fucking naked and afraid. So I would send a fucking camera crew with them, and I would just watch them be like weeping the first 7 hours in because they're hungry. They don't have toilet paper, so they can't shit. Like, they're dehydrated. Like, I would love to watch each one of those fucking people break down and then slowly, with their tail between their legs, walk back into like their fucking apartment in like East LA. Like, those people fucking piss me off the most. It's just like we're all just really disconnected from nature, man. Like, you just know, like, you never like feel like the sand between your toes anymore, like the grass or like dew when you're out in the morning. You don't feel any of that. Yeah, it's a good reason. It's a good fucking reason, because all the people who lived before us, they all made shoes because no one wants to fucking walk on that. They crawled so we can run, and you're gonna just throw away their work because you're mentally ill? Get the fuck out of here. Go live out in the desert. I will drop you off. I will pay fucking some helicopter dickhead to come pick us both up, and I will parachute you into the fucking wilderness. Go be connected with nature out there. How connected are you going to feel with nature when you are sitting in a bear's stomach because it fucking ate you? Because bears can run 35 miles an hour, and they can also climb trees at 30 miles an hour. You are not made to be outside. Dude, we're smart, so we learned to go inside and make guns and lock our doors and shit from animals. And like we made like Walmarts and fridges so we don't have to hunt. Like, we have it pretty fucking good. Like, these people just need to appreciate, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I really don't. I can't even. I like with fucking. I don't know. The bottom line is, if you know an ape, you should probably give him some mushrooms or something, because that'd be pretty cool. All right, guys. That was just, I don't even what the fuck that was. Just rants. All right. I will catch you guys hopefully on Monday, even though this is going up on a Tuesday. Peace.